We only didn't sync. Come on. 3, 2, 1. Nice.
Chalo. Start.
VK 80. Virat, what's happening? How are you? What phase are you in right now?
I'm pretty good. Very relaxed, happy.
Yeah.
In a phase of my life, career where I'm just, doing things which are purposeful. Even playing cricket, it's, you get to a stage which goes beyond numbers and achievements and all those kind of things. And then it's like a full circle feeling, when you start off with just pure enjoyment of the game and then you set out with some goals in your mind and then you achieve goal after goal. And then, through that whole journey, you feel like, oh, now this is the big thing. Once I get to this, it'll all be fine. But then you wake up the next morning and you're like, it's still going on. It's still not over. What's going on, So I think the importance of achieving and numbers and all those kind of things, it acts like a motivation factor earlier. But the more you do it, the more you realize that it's not what your purpose is in the game. It's not fulfilling you in a way that is organic, which is in flow with, the love of the game, as we say. So now I'm at a stage where I feel like, okay, any kind of achievement does not stop you from going ahead the next day, going through the same pressures, the same complications in your mind. You
spoke about the butterflies. You're still getting those butterflies.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Sport in general is such a great leveler. But I think the one thing that you realize over a long period of time is when you feel like you've seen everything, there's still something that you haven't experienced. And I think invariably that happens to people who have played any sport for a long period of time, that you keep getting surprised in a way that I thought I had it figured, but I still don't know how to do this, or I still don't know how to do that. So that's why it's a constant learning curve and a constant evolving process, because you're never really a finished product. You're never going to be a finished product in life or in sport. Definitely not. Especially I can say that from a perspective of a batter. When your whole impact is down to one mistake, you always get surprised in a way that you feel like, man, I never predicted that this could happen to me, or I could feel like there's a part of the game where I just don't know what to do. So I've had many of those experiences, still continue to do so. And I think that's the beautiful part about playing sport. It forces you to be present. It forces you to reflect, because everything happens in a moment and you don't have time to plot and plan and think. It's all instinctive. And when something goes wrong, you really want to break it down in a way that, okay, what happened? What was I thinking? What was I feeling? And that helps you to grow eventually into a better player and in turn into a better person. Honestly, it's every incident that happens on the field, every game that we play is in itself a small life lesson, because you're forced to be present and you're forced to make the right decisions or sometimes the wrong decisions under pressure. And that helps you grow as a person.
New season, huh?
Let's get off to a fresh start.
Fresh fruit, sir.
Hey, sunne ninkolappa.
Peace.
Anyway, do we have everything we need?
Big basket. Everything you need, boys.
Everything you need.
Delivered now.
I felt like we really were able to see or experience a piece of your heart during that final. Just watching you and AB, we had tears in our eyes. I know you guys had. Chris Gayle was there. You running like a kid into Ravi Shastri's arms. That was amazing to see that, because someone is truly happy when they go back to behaving like they did when they were children. And that little run, that little jump, just that whole moment of being there with these friends of yours, and it was love. It was pure love, pure emotion.
It was. I felt very thankful, and I feel grateful every day of my life, to be honest. I have nothing to complain about. But that night especially, and I still say it's very difficult to explain to people in words how I felt in the last 4 balls of the last over. When you see from the outside what has happened to the franchise, how RCB has been looked at for so many years as a big team, big franchise that's never won, the almost champions, the ones that have come close but never really won the trophy. And for that pressure to build over so many years, like season after season. And there's one thing to observe it, and there's one thing to live it.
Yeah.
And I have lived through all
Your
of those
youth,
seasons.
your prime.
Yeah, I mean,
you said
it's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, I started my journey with RCB very young, as everyone knows. Then I was retained at a very important juncture in my career. To be fair, with a conversation back and forth, RCB agreed to the perspective I had for my own career, for my own game, because I was also playing for India. They showed trust in me. I was the only retained player in 2011, and they kind of built the team around. And then, the involvement of, like you said, AB, Chris, all the iconic players that have played for so many years, very naturally they also started feeling all those pressures and all the expectations. And hence, the care comes from the fact that when you have kind of given so much of yourself, to one team, because it's demanding so much out of you, to be honest. Like, the expectations have been sky high always. So when people give so much of their own being to something, there is a very genuine and natural care and an emotional connect that's very difficult to explain. So they felt emotional, although Chris has played for other teams after, but he has a very soft spot for RCB in his heart. I mean, it's impact, right? AB became this icon in India after he started playing for us. You know how the fans embraced him, how they loved him. What he did for the team was beyond words. The impact he had. Very organically, things fell in place with Chris as well. He was sitting at home, gets called mid-season, has the season of his life. Is completely life changed within a week coming to Bangalore. So our franchise, our city, our team, our fans has been about impacting people in a very natural way. And I felt that impact probably more than anyone over the course of 18 years till the last year we won the trophy. And I think all those emotions, all those feelings came out in a form of just being on my knees and just folding my hands and saying thank you.
Yeah.
That I could experience this before I stopped playing. Although I wouldn't have carried on regretting it, but there would have been a part of me that would have wondered, what it would have felt like to experience that moment. And it was, I can for sure, with absolute honesty and clarity, say that it wouldn't have been, 5% of the feeling I had we won it in the earlier years. And the accumulation of all that stress and all that pressure.
Yeah.
And for it to happen after 18 years, there couldn't have been a better experience for me in my cricketing journey. Apart from all the other things that I've experienced playing for India as well, this was very, very special.
I mean, the stars, I guess, just lined up because it's been it was 12 months of collecting trophies, right?
Yeah.
T20 World Cup, with Champions Trophy, and then which you have won before, and then everyone plays for trophies at the end of the day. And even if you've experienced before, does it get more and more special every time you're on the podium and you have that silverware?
And the thing that your perspective kind of keeps evolving, right? As we just discussed, it's a ever evolving, ever growing process. I started off thinking of trophies as accolades and achievements, but at the end of the day, why do people get so involved and engrossed, say for a semi-final or a final? I think the opportunity to win a competition in itself feels like a very difficult thing to achieve, right? And when it's difficult and people feel like it might or might not happen, the connection and the intensity with which they watch goes 10 levels higher. How I've started looking at these things is, if I am able to make it to those end stages, and if I am able to leave an impact on those games, which eventually helps us to win, the beautiful thing to understand is, while you are playing and you are creating an impact, because so many people are watching, together, it's not only about winning the trophy, it's about what they feel when they watch you play.
So it's a collective?
It's
everything in that
It's
moment,
a collective environment of growth. So many people, when they watch sport, they become so present and involved. And if they see something inspirational happen and unfold in front of their eyes, it can have a positive impact on their lives. It can transform people's lives to say, you know what, I'm going to wake up the next day, I'm going to start doing stuff which is progressive, which is positive, and it actually alters the direction of their lives. So the realization of this being an opportunity to make that impact on people is what the purpose is for me now. And when you get to those stages, like now, we had a couple of tough games, and then when we won, even though you haven't contributed in the game, but the impact you feel as a spectator when I'm watching from the dugout, I'm feeling those emotions when I'm watching a Krunal